Okay, so I'm activating the P1000 camera right now as well. It's such a beautiful sunrise, and I'll go ahead and upload that later today. We've got a storm that has been making some bigger waves, and more people will be coming on out here today. And I wanted to go live because it hopefully would be up there right away. And I say hopefully because even after I've recorded or gone live on a video, what has happened is there's a pretty long delay for when that video can be viewed later. It seems like the artificial intelligence wants to confirm that everything on there is going to be okay to be seen, apparently. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure why the delay is there. But I wanted to go ahead and put my name and phone number up here again so you can see it and call me. Sometimes on a comment I'll just put call me, you know, if somebody's hating on me. By irony and paradox, the deceived are unaware that they're deceived, and there's a lot of really angry people in this world, and quite possibly artificial intelligence chatbots as well. I don't really know if somebody is actually a person or an account that's got a good morning. So what I'll do is treat whoever it is with respect, and I know that there's an audience that's watching, even if I don't know if it's actually a human being or an AI chatbot. Right now we have technology that is so sophisticated that it can take composite components of a person's face, and it's not actually a real person. Maybe you've seen videos where a photograph or a video will morph from one face to another, from one celebrity to another. And what can happen with that is the artificial intelligence can create a caricature that's not actually a real person. And so with that in mind, seeing is believing. What do we see, and what do we believe about what we see? That's part of the challenge there, is we really don't know on some of the issues some of the things that were being shown. Is it actually true? Is it real? So that being said, I wanted to, I believe, take us out quite possibly right onto the beach there. It's so beautiful. One of the things I wanted to show you about my setup here is I have a bowl of water, purified water for the birds, and I'll be feeding the birds a little bit later on. Right now they aren't around, but they'll be here in a little bit. My setup here is that way so that people can have an opportunity to wonder what's going on. What do I have going on here? And so people come up from all over the world, actually, to come to the Grand Strand in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And the Grand Strand is about 60 miles of coastline. So last year we had approximately 20 million guests in this area, so that when people are, let's say, on their balcony or on the pier itself, they see the presence that I have here, and quite often the curiosity will bring them on over, which is essentially what I want. It's an indicator that they want to know something they don't know. Like, what am I doing? What's going on here? And that's an important aspect. It's like lubricant in a lock, or the cognitive function in a person's brain. They know that there's something that they don't know, like what I'm about, what I'm doing here. And what has happened is the official narrative that has the celebrities, the networks, the channels, all of that establishes the narrative that's socially acceptable. And so a lot of people know what that narrative is. And they can also recognize when somebody is going off script or off the narrative, whatever that is. Talking about controversial topics. So on my channel, and particularly on the research library that I regularly add videos to, I cover a wide variety of topics. If I make a comment that's viewed as unfriendly, unkind, or unacceptable for the post, like if I say you're lying or this is not true right on a post, the channel owner may just take it down or mute me from the channel. So I've talked for a long time about the stationary level Earth. That means that we're not on a globe, spinning, wobbling, gyrating, hurling through the universe at imaginary speeds. And because of that, if I go to a NASA or NASA channel or SpaceX or any of the fans of the space fantasy, they're going to probably just delete my comment or mute me, hide me from the rest of the commenters and people there. So typically what I'll do when I add a video to my research library, I'll put a comment something like this: amazing analysis added to my AI research library sharing through the Truth Network, ... And then my reply to that will be my actual research library hyperlink. Typically, a hyperlink, my playlist, or a hyperlink in a lot of locations will just be withheld or held for review. And so if any of the pseudoscience channels that are promoting science fiction or the science delusion, they're probably not going to allow that hyperlink to be there, and they're probably not going to want any of my comments there after they see what I'm about. So I may be hidden from the rest of the commenters. Oh well. So this is my little lemonade stand of truth, so to speak. I've got amazing content that others have created. I and others have created also. That's what you should know. I've had an opportunity to capture the sun appearing in the clouds. That's called local sun. If you hashtag local sun, you'll see that on my channel. It appears that the sun is right in the midst of the clouds where Job 37 actually proclaims that it is. And Joshua 10, God's word says that God stopped the sun and the moon from moving temporarily, and then he got them going again. But the idea here is biblical cosmology, I believe, is reflected in reality, and the heliocentric science fiction is a science delusion that many believe. So they believe it because they're told it by people they trusted. They thought the content or the explanation was reliable. You don't see any movement there, do you? Other than the water, maybe the people and the birds, but the earth is stationary and level. You see, the thing of it is, there would be no level anywhere ever if we were spinning, wobbling, gyrating. None of that supposed movement has ever been proven. And there's names of experiments and all that that just promote the science fiction. So I'm going to go ahead and pan on around here in a moment, but what I wanted to point out is the small focal point of light in approximately the middle of the view right now. The sun is definitely not 93 million, supposedly 93 million miles away. That's not what we observe at all. There's a bright spot in the middle of the view. If it were 93 million miles away and 1.5 million Earth sizes, as the heliocentric model states, it would look very different. So I'm just going to gently pan on around here. The Myrtle Beach skyline is obscured by a lot of moisture in the air. The sun is, or I should say the breeze is coming in at about 3 to 4 miles an hour out of the north, which is the direction I'm facing right now. The Cherry Grove Fishing Pier faces directly south, and it looks like the sun will appear any moment now. Potentially. Not exactly sure about that because of the cloud consistency. So in the winter, the sun comes up way on the right side of the screen. In the summer, it comes up way on the left side of the screen, the view there. And the thing of it is, too, that the path of the sun and the moon, the paths, respectively, of the sun and the moon, and their duration of visibility through that movement, and the phases of the moon and the seasons throughout the year can't be explained accurately by the heliocentric model. The reason why that's important is a lot of people that are clinging to their godless cosmic Big Bang are relying on the science fiction that's being promoted by NASA, other atheist and satanic organizations. Yeah, I did say satanic. They're a God replacement. They're an anti-Christ replacement. Keep in mind the biblical perspective is very unpopular with the majority of humanity. And apart from divine intervention, there's no way man is going to even seek God. It's not something that man wants to do in and of himself. Now, it's the apparent investigation or desire to know when somebody is looking into the reality of God existing. However, that's initiated by God himself. The people that are selling their soul for fame, fortune, stuff, pleasure, their God is the God of this world, which is Lucifer, the fallen one, Satan. There's two families battling right now, and that would be the true creator that spoke this world into existence and his children, which I'm one of, and then there are the elect angels. On the other side, there are fallen angels and Lucifer, Satan, Lord of the Flies. He's the god of this world, and he's the deceiver. Now, what's really important to keep in mind is nothing happens in this world that God doesn't actually cause or allow. So he is sovereign. He's all-powerful and all-knowing. So as powerful as artificial intelligence is, God is all-powerful and he's all-knowing. That's one of the main reasons why I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. So right now I have multiple recordings going. I hope the sound is okay. It sure is beautiful. I love it out here. So this is a mission field that comes to us. Any moment now it looks like the sun will be visible through the top of the clouds. We can see the bright spot in the middle there. The other biblical proclamation has to do with the firmament, that we have a structure above this stationary and level earth that separates the waters from above from the waters below. There's a lot of water up above us. We're in like a terrarium. The flood that Noah prepared for, God opened up the floodgates of heaven, the windows of heaven, the fountains of the deep, and caused it to start raining. That's all really a big deal, because that means that the supposed experts on all things cosmology, or the universe, the official progenitors of the heliocentric or the globe deception, they're lying about all that. The earth is observably stationary and level. That can be seen by the water. The surface of undisturbed water is flat and level. The earth isn't really flat. If it were, I would be covered by water right now. I'd be swimming. Higher is drier and lower is wetter. I'm going to zoom in a bit on the sun right now, see if I can catch that popping out of the top of the clouds. I recently added a video that I recorded actually like over 3 years ago. It was a Facebook live feed that occurred before the first Flat Earth International Conference. Right now, what I'm looking at is the sun piercing through the clouds. And it appears to me once again that the sun is nestled in the clouds, just as Job 37 proclaims. One more time, some pretty spectacular content. So the lighting and the way that the sun appears in the midst of the clouds is obviously not 93 million miles away. So the exact diameter, distance, and all of that, and the speed of movement, I'm not exactly sure. In my pursuit of the truth about all of this, what I wanted to determine is the Bible accurately describing what we notice? And I would say absolutely yes. And that proves that NASA and SpaceX and the people promoting the global lie are deceived and deceiving others. So somebody may be very sincere. They may work for an organization that's promoting the global deception, but they're just part of the grand illusion. So just because somebody's sincere doesn't mean that what they're saying and what they believe is true. So the intellectual high ground in a search would be the truth. What is the actual truth about a situation? what you're looking into, what you believe, what I'm talking about. So there is mystery with history. We've been told a lot of lies for a long time about a lot of things. And I've got evidence of that on my channel. And the reason why I encourage people to type my name in a Google search with the hashtag is that there are thousands of results across multiple platforms, so that if you want to find, you know, what I've located, it's a way to do that. Because any number of those platforms I could be deleted off of. A lot of the videos that I've featured and channels that I've featured have been removed. One of the other obvious realities is the horizon has no curvature on it. Keep in mind the 8 inches per mile squared that would equal a ball, a globe 25,000 miles in circumference, would mean that between here and California there would be a hump in the middle of the country over 337 miles tall, which the Mississippi River obviously ignores. The Nile River also ignores it, the Amazon. All of the water indicates the reality that we're being lied to. Even the water, you know, I was heard saying we don't have toilet water flying out on people in Australia because of gravity. Well, hello, it's just water seeking its level. That's what it does. The birds are waiting for me to feed them. Look at them. Isn't that funny? So I'm gonna go ahead and grab some food and feed these birds. So they're glad I brought the bread here. We've got a bakery, D'Annunzio's bakery down the street from us, and I like to bring a little extra food with me. So because it's getting cooler, there will be less people around to feed the birds. So that's one of the reasons why I come on out here with this food. They like it. I enjoy feeding them. So on my channel, I've got beautiful, relaxing music videos, some with just nature sounds and in the beauty of creation. Some of it is time-lapse video that'll show the sun and the moon and stars moving. And sometimes their reflections are above the water, and it's just gorgeous. Also the northern lights, the aurora borealis. There's a lot of clues to the nature of our reality. The world that we live in has a toxification of the food, water, air, information, and more. So that's why I talk about this and direct people to seek the truth with all your heart, because I believe it matters for eternity. It's a gorgeous day. I've got some friends over there that are getting ready to go surfing. And my recording of the P1000 is just about run its length, which is about 29 minutes. I'll post that later on. The P1000 Nikon Coolpix will zoom in 125 times, and it's a weapon of mass instruction, as is my iPhone. I'll leverage the worldwide communication systems and portable devices to expose the reality of the world we live in. God's grace is required to love and believe the truth, let alone find it. This is Robert Forsch with the Truth Network.